I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for all of the YouTube messages and comments and the Facebook messages and comments and maybe even some emails through my website from all the people going,
Dave, did you hear? Did you hear that Blumhouse is opening the production up again and they're going back out to do some reshoots? Oh no, I knew it. I knew it was gonna be shit. They're not even gonna make the October 19th, 2018 release date now, Dave. It's not gonna happen, man. It's not gonna happen. I knew it. See, I told you. It's doomed, man. They're going out and they're doing some reshoots. Reshooting. You know what that means, Dave? They're reshooting what they already shot. That can't be good, man. Why didn't they get it right the first time? Why didn't they get it right the first time? I mean, making a movie is easy. Anybody can make a movie. Why didn't they get it right the first time?
Okay, folks, listen. According to an article on Bloody Disgusting, David Gordon Green and company are going back to Haddonfield, so I'm assuming that means they're going back to Charleston, South Carolina, or maybe not, that might just be a saying. They're going back to Haddonfield, which just simply means they're, going back to shoot some extra stuff. Depending on what it is, they might be able to shoot that in and around Los Angeles. They could very well be able to do that. It all depends on what specifically they need to reshoot. They could very well be going back to Charleston, South Carolina. It's entirely possible. But apparently that's what they're doing because there's some reshoots, there's some fine tweaking of the finale, of the ending of the movie that they want to do. Okay? And this sort of coincides from, a number of weeks ago when there was that test screening that everybody was losing their shit over. I made a video about it and tried to calm everybody down and gave some perspective and basically said, yeah, it very well could have happened. It very well could have. And I went into what a test screening is, what it's all about, what happens. You can watch that video if you want. It's on my channel from a few weeks ago. But this is not surprising. This happens all the time. And even if there wasn't a test screening, most films have test screenings, okay? But even if there wasn't one, or even if the vast majority of the audience enjoyed the movie and didn't really have anything to say about the ending, that doesn't mean that there wasn't going to be reshoots, okay? That doesn't mean that they wouldn't go out to reshoot something that maybe they wanted to just get some extra footage of, or you know what, we kind of need that, so, let's do that, or, let's do this. Folks, there's this saying that there's 3 movies, okay? There's always 3 movies that you shoot, okay? There's the movie that you envision, okay, in your mind. Oh, yeah. And it's always perfect in your mind, right? There's the movie that you actually shoot, and then there's the movie that you end up putting together and releasing, because that's when you get all of, the footage into the computer and you start editing it and all this kind of shit, and then you kind of see it how it comes together. And I can't tell you how many times in the short films that I've done or the Halloween fan films that I've done where I will get, the footage into the computer and I look at it and I go, you know what? Nah, I got to go back out. I got to go back. It just didn't, I thought it looked good when we were shooting it, but I got to go back out. I'm just not crazy on it. Happens all the time. And I'm not making multi-million-dollar Hollywood productions. Happens all the time. These studios, I'm telling you, they budget for this. Now, that doesn't mean that, sometimes the reshoots will go over budget or they will have to have more money because the reshoots are extensive. That sometimes happens. But all productions, all studios factor in, the fact that it's entirely possible that we're going to have to go back out and reshoot something because that's the general consensus of that's part of making a movie. Nobody, or very rarely does somebody shoot a movie and not have to reshoot something, even if it's minimal, even if it's small. Oh, you know what? We should go out and get those cutaways. Or you know what? We didn't get that shot of the tree. I think we could really use it now because it would be a nice transition for the... all the time. And yes, sometimes if an ending is like, I'm not crazy. Yeah, we did that and that kind of looks all right. But you know what we could use here? If we actually went back out and got that and this and put that there, yes. And they're like, oh, yes. And they budget for this stuff. They factor it in. Okay. Now, according to the article on Bloody Disgusting, it's the finale. And apparently they want to fine tune and tweak the finale more than likely because of that test screening that more than likely happened a few weeks ago, where audiences weren't really crazy on the ending. They liked the movie for the most part, but they weren't crazy on the ending. So yeah, so they took that to heart and they're like, you know what, maybe we should go out, tweak this, fine-tune that, and there's nothing wrong here. It happens all the time. They're doing this to help improve the movie. But there's this idea, there's this psychological roadblock that people have that when they hear reshoots, it's like they have this,
well, how come they didn't do it right the first time? Making a movie is easy. I just don't get it. They didn't do it right the first time? Well, that doesn't make any sense. They have to go out and reshoot something? Oh, this isn't good. This is not good, man. They gotta go reshoot something. Excuse me, I have an expectation, okay, that you're going to shoot everything right the first time. And if you gotta go out and reshoot something to make it better, well, that just tells me you weren't paying attention the first time you were shooting it.
It's almost like that's where it's coming from, And I sit there and I think, guys, making a movie is not easy, and shit happens, and sometimes you go out and you get shit that looks good while you're there, and you bring it home and you watch it on the computer, or you watch it, in the flow of the context of the actual narrative once, the picture lock is done, and maybe you have some music in there now, so now you have context, right, and you're looking at it, and you're like, yeah, this, you know what? You were right, man. We should have got that. Maybe we should go out and get it. It happens all the time. Or maybe, they look at the ending and they're like, yeah, it's not crazy. I'm not crazy on this. You know what? I think they might be right. But you know what? It's not testing well, or some people didn't like it. You know what? What if we do this? I think that would be better. And they go out and do it. Isn't that what you want? It's always with the intention of making the movie better. So am I worried that David Gordon Green is going back to Haddonfield to tweak and fine-tune the ending? No, not at all. Not at all. Listen, if the test screening happened, which as I said in a video a number of weeks ago, it probably did. And if the vast majority of the focus group didn't like it, or weren't crazy on it, or thought it was weaker than maybe it should have been, yeah, they take that shit seriously. They do, right? And they're like, well, maybe we should go out and do this. And maybe they had some ideas that they were going to do that they didn't. And now that the test screening and the focus group didn't go over as well as they had hoped, now they're like, shit, you know what? Yeah, we should have done it. And now they're going to go out and do it. There's nothing wrong with this. So I just want to sort of get ahead of the game here and calm everybody down and say, it's okay. Okay, don't worry about it. It's not really news. This happens all the time. Studios budget for this. They expect this. This is part of the filmmaking process. Very, 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 very rarely does a major motion picture at the Hollywood level not have some sort of reshoot that has to be done. Whether it's something inconsequential like a couple of pickups and cutaways, or if it's something a little major like fine-tuning and tweaking the ending of a movie, or getting a few scenes that, they thought they didn't need, but now they actually do. Happens all the time. All the time. Okay? And I read the article. There's nothing here that makes me think that there's anything to worry about. And please do not think that they're not going to make the October 19th, 2018 release date. They absolutely are going to make that release date. Trust me, this film is locked and loaded. The picture lock is done. They're continuing to fine, tweak, and tune, absolutely. But the blueprint, okay, and then some of what this movie is going to be, it's done. It's done, okay? I mean, so much so that they had a trailer to show. All right, this is not a big movie. This is not a $100 million film. This is not heavily involved in terms of plot and narrative and all these things going on. It was probably a relatively easy film to cut and put together. Very simplistic. It's not a lot going on here. It was shot in 5.5 weeks. Calm down. They can go out. They're going to go out probably in the next couple of weeks. Go back, fine, tune it, tweak it, come back, slip it in seamlessly, and you're fine. It's like what they did with that movie, All the Money in the World, right? That movie was weeks away from being released, okay? And because of the whole Kevin Spacey thing, they hired Christopher Plummer, they went out, reshot all of Kevin Spacey's scenes, okay? That wasn't minor, that was pretty substantial for all intents and purposes. I mean, he's not in the movie, you know, in every single shot, but it's not like it's just one scene. And they did that and still made the release date. Don't worry about it. These are professionals. They know what they're doing, okay? And just don't think that when you hear that a production is going out to reshoot something, that somehow that means,
well, that's just shit. Well, that means they weren't paying attention the first time around, which means they're not taking this seriously, which means they have to go out and reshoot something.
well, yeah, it's making a movie. That's part of making a movie. That's the filmmaking process. So don't worry about it. Everything's cool. Everything's fine. When you read that article on Bloody Disgusting or wherever you read it, or just don't worry about it. Everything is chill. Everything's cool. They're going out to fine tune and tweak the ending that the focus group wasn't crazy on. Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense, right? That's why they show focus groups. That's why they have test screenings. Happens all the time. And obviously the feedback was, worrisome enough that it made Jason Blum, David Gordon Green, Danny McBride, and maybe even Ryan Turek, and, those heavily involved, John Carpenter perhaps, take note and kind of go, maybe we should, and maybe they, like I just said, maybe they had some ideas that they were going to do, but didn't do it because they thought for whatever reason, that's what they wanted to go with. And now because of the feedback, they're like, I totally know what you mean. Happens all the time, guys. Guys, there's stuff that I will change and rearrange and reshoot from my short Halloween fan films. Like take, The Night He Came Back. I would show people and be like, that's good. I like that. But you think, it happens all the time. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Everything is cool. Okay? Everything's cool. You've got nothing to worry about. Anyways, folks, my name's Dave McRae. Comment below and let me know your thoughts on what I had to say. Are you worried? Are you one of those people that's like,
Dave, oh my God, Dave. Oh my God, they're going out and reshooting. I don't think they're going to make the October 19th deadline, man. I just don't see how they can do it. I'm so scared. I'm so scared.
Or are you confident? Are you okay? Yeah, comment below and let me know. If you want to follow me on Facebook, you can at facebook.com/manythingsdavemcrae. McRae is MCRAE. Facebook.com/manythingsdavemcrae. That's where I tend to post in the meantime and in between time. When I'm not posting here, I post there. The link is in the description with several other links as well. So, that's all really I have to say about that. I just, I saw it come in because obviously I follow all of these websites and I'm up on sort of what's going on. And I thought, oh boy, I better get ahead of that. Anyways, I will talk to you guys soon. Cheers.